So, welcome back to James Games, and today, if you can tell what we're doing, is we're building my first ever computer. I'm going to have it in my room, which I'm going to film some of my future videos on. But the computer isn't as good as Daddy's one, which is the one we filmed the past 3 videos on. Am I right, Dad?
You're right. Do you remember the challenge that we set for this as well?
Yes, we have to do it by the end of this year.
Yes.
We've got less than half a year, and if it goes over a budget, we can't.
What was the budget?
The budget was 400 quid, and
Yeah.
Daddy's was 1,600.
Yeah, Daddy's was a little bit more expensive.
So that's why my computer's
what was the main part of the challenge? I would pay for it if it was only budget of £400 and...
It would be within this year.
And... He doesn't remember.
What?
You're building it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll help, but you're building it. Okay? So,
Yeah.
should we show everyone what we've actually got?
Yep.
Right.
So we
Okay.
start off with the newest piece.
Or, well, I'll tell you what, let's go left to right and then we'll do the case at the end.
Yeah.
I like that idea. Right, okay, so, no, that's right.
Oh.
We go left to right, aren't we? Or
Yeah.
right to
I
left?
thought you said left to right and then the case at the end.
I suppose that's their left to right. That's a good point. All right, fine, we'll start off on this end then.
Yeah.
So first of all, we've got a £400 budget,
Yeah.
roughly,
Yeah.
but we've slightly cheated, okay? In the fact that some of these parts are recycled from my old computer. Okay, so we'll start with those ones first. So first up, we've got a...
This thing which look
Do you remember what this is?
CX500.
It's a Corsair CX500 power supply.
That's what
So,
I wrote on the back.
Old, it's not a modular power supply, but it is a Corsair. It's 500 watts, so that's more than enough for the mini ATX build that we're going to be doing. So, still rock solidly reliable, so we're going to reuse that in James's build.
Guess what? I think this kind of looks like. It kind of looks like one of them boxes they have when they pull the thing to explode the TNT, and these look like the cables.
Yeah, it does a little bit, but hopefully this one won't explode.
Yes.
Next up, we've got a couple of recycled case fans from my old machine. So
Yep.
for this, we've gone for...
Which spin just like fidget spinners.
Yes, they are a bit like fidget spinners. But we've gone for the Be Quiet Shadow Wings, the original Shadow Wings, not Shadow Wings 2. But Be Quiet makes some pretty darn good fans. And one of James's main things was that you wanted this machine to be what? Nice and...
Quiet.
You wanted it to be nice
That's
and
what I
quiet.
said.
Because he says it's going to sit in your bedroom, and he doesn't want flashy RGB lights, and he doesn't want it to be all loud and brash.
But I would like it so I can have the lights on, but
Yeah,
I can turn them off.
Yeah, and we can put lights in later on anyway, can't we? So we've got 2 of those, 2 120mm Be Quiet Shadow Wings fans. And then the last of the main recycled parts is being the most expensive component of most gaming rigs nowadays, which is the graphics card. We have recycled my old Asus ROG Strix RX 470. 470 is not exactly the best graphics card around anymore. It was good when it came out, but it's a good few years old.
But
what are you going to make?
RTX.
It doesn't support RTX.
That's
no.
the problem, because I'm going to do at least 10 videos on RTX.
Well, yeah, but we've got my rig for that.
A whole survival series
True.
on RTX.
But mainly,
You'll see that coming in a couple of months.
You ain't interrupting me anymore. Cool. But mainly, what are you playing?
Minecraft.
Exactly.
I'm also
Minecraft does
going-
not need the most powerful GPU in the world.
But
does it?
what else? I'm also going to play occasionally Minecraft Dungeons and do a playthrough of a game which isn't out yet, but it's coming out soon.
Which
is Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. You
True.
can get it for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo.
And I dare say, considering we're aiming for basically 1080p, 60 FPS
Yeah.
On common games, things like Rocket League and stuff like that, you know, if you ever get to play that, you'll enjoy Rocket League. You know, this rig should be plenty for that. We're not aiming for overclocking, we're not aiming for a massive powerhouse editing machine. We've got Dad's computer for that. So
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on then. So a couple of extra bits for storage, and I thought this, I'll actually shout this out as probably the biggest bargain, because I've been building computers for like 20 years, and I remember when storage was traditional spinning HDDs, and it was expensive. In fact, I remember buying my first 500 gig hard drive and thinking that was astronomical in size. It was IBM, it had glass discs, and it took about 3 weeks to get here, and that was expensive back in the day. So for the storage, we've gone for the Western Digital Green M.2 256 gig drive. Now this isn't NVMe, this is SSD, so it will run at SATA 6 gig. But again, for James's machine, that's probably more than enough. Now, as the first of the new components we bought for this, yeah, bargain at about 30 quid for this. 256 gig of M.2 storage, bargain.
And here's the memory, which without this, what happens is, for example, you play Minecraft, you create a billion worlds, do whatever you want in the thing. Next time, Minecraft's deleted. If you reinstall it, no worlds, no builds.
Well, it's more kind of a case if you didn't have that, the computer wouldn't even work. But
that's basically if it would work, and you didn't have that.
Yeah, but for this we've gone for the Kingston HyperX Fury, 16 gig, 3200 megahertz DDR4. Again, this was RAM is one of those things that fluctuates a lot in prices over the years, but even with coronavirus and the lockdown, RAM is still, in my opinion, pretty darn cheap at the moment. So we managed to get a 16 gig kit for, I think it was just over 60 quid, and that's brand new. So again, really good quality there. Kingston HyperX, integrated heat spreaders, but no RGB. But James is not massively interested in that anyway.
What's RGB?
Red, green, or blue? Flashy lights.
We can buy some flashy lights.
We can buy flashy lights later on. Exactly.
Oh, I know. Strip down the light, put it onto that.
Yeah.
We turn the light on and off.
True, we could do that.
Well
next up is we've gone for a U-bit Wi-Fi 6 card, PCIe Express card. Here we got it off Amazon. It's like 20 or 30 odd quid. Never really used U-bit before. Don't really know who they are, but we'll see how that goes. Then next up for the CPU and motherboard. You love that fan, don't you?
Yeah. So
CPU and motherboard. For this, we've gone for the AMD Ryzen 3 3100. So that's 4 cores, 8 threads. Mainly because, well, AMD, let's face it, with the Ryzen 3000 series, they're really smashing it at the moment. It's got a 3.6 gigahertz boost clock. I've got a 3600X in my machine upstairs after being on Intel for quite some time. I mean, when I say quite some time, a 2500K Core i5, so that's very old. But I'm super impressed with the latest round of AMD, so we're going to go for that. Isn't that right, young man?
Yep.
Cool. To cool that, we've gone for the 92mm Cooler Master Hyper H412R, and I think probably more so now than ever, air cooling really is super reliable. We didn't want anything too expensive, too complex, so we're not going for custom loop water cooling, we're not going for an AIO, we're just going for something simple and reliable. I've used Cooler Master a lot over the years. What are you doing with that fan?
I'm having fun.
And in fact, I used to have a friend who worked for Cooler Master, and I helped him do some promo stuff at a couple of major sponsored LAN parties and stuff years and years ago now. But yeah, I've always found Cooler Master stuff to be pretty decent. And this fitted the profile, being cheap at about 20 quid. Being small enough that it's not going to be a problem getting it in our micro ATX case, and it's pretty darn quiet as well. And then the last two components, now for the motherboard, which is the whole foundation of the computer, isn't it? We've gone for the ASRock B450M HDV Revision 4, sorry. Revision 4 mainly because this is AMD Ryzen 3000 ready. So for some of the B450 chipset motherboards, you need to do a BIOS update before they'll accept the Ryzen 3000 series chip. And if you haven't got an older Ryzen series chip to put in it, doing that BIOS flash can be really difficult. So you can get some of the B450 motherboards now are pre-flashed with a BIOS to support those Ryzen 3000s. And then that really takes us on to, you're loving the fans, aren't you? You weren't kidding about being a fidget spinner. That takes us on to our last, but by no means least important component here.
The case.
The case.
Basically, it's just where everything gets plugged in.
Exactly. It's just where everything goes, right? So for this, we've gone for the Lianli LAN-Cooled 205M.
Just before you continue, guys, guess what? I actually saw a couple of motherboards at school.
You do? Yes, yeah. That's right. His school do actually have...
Sweaty.
I know I'm really sweaty. It's because it's like 35 degrees today.
Yep. They said tomorrow is 37.
And 37 tomorrow, absolutely.
Yep.
But yeah, James's school, actually, which is, I suppose we should do a big shout out to them, shouldn't we? To Downsview Community Primary School in Swanley in Kent. They've actually got a nice little display of old computer components, motherboards, memory, stuff like that. Lots of old, like Socket 7. Yes, yeah. I'm geeky enough and old enough to remember what a Socket 7 motherboard is. But yeah, you've got loads of that on display at the school, haven't you?
We are really geeky.
Well, I'm definitely more geeky, but that's because I've had longer to be geeky than you.
Yeah, but
so
we both watch geeky films.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So as I said, we've gone for the Lianli LAN-Cooled 205M here. Now, again, I'm going to call this out as being an unexpectedly brilliant bargain. Lianli have often been very expensive over the years, gone for real premium cases. I've never used one until my most recent build. For that, I've got the Lianli 011 XL, which is a phenomenal case. Superb build quality, really, really good looks. So when I actually found out that Lianli is starting to branch out into more budget areas, I was very interested. And for, I don't know, like 40 odd quid, 45 quid, something like that. We'll put all of the links and prices up and everything on the description anyway.
Yes.
But for that amount of money, you get a whole bunch of removable dust filters.
Yep.
You get a pretty well-made stamped steel case. You get 2 integrated 120mm fans.
And you get a plastic bit which is revealing the real beauty.
Which is tempered glass side panel, which for this price is pretty impressive. It's got a blank front, but it has, if you take a quick look here, it has got probably, an inch and a half of clearance with mesh on the sides and underneath. With another removable dust filter behind that for forward airflow, taking air into the case. So yeah, another along with the Western Digital Green, I'd say the case and the M.2 drive, biggest bargains there, right?
Yep.
Right. So, are we going to go and build this sim or what?
Yep.
I think we're going to go and build it.
So now,
time to start building, right?
Yeah. So now we can start building the computer. Oh, his piggy's gonna fly.
Bye, Piggy. Right, let's start with the motherboard. Can you pick up the Zim motherboard for me, please, mate?
Yeah.
Right, I have got some thermal paste. So we've got our thermal paste. We've got.
Before we start building, we're gonna have to do the unboxing.
Oh, absolutely. Right. So. Oh, actually, I think I've already done this box. Yeah, that's fine.
So what's on the inside?
So this is the ASRock B450M.
Which that looks like a CD.
Yeah, that'll be the drivers. We've got the I/O backplate, manual.
Here's a beautiful motherboard.
Oh, SATA cable or 2.
Here's the beautiful motherboard.
And here is the motherboard in its anti-static bag. And here's a tip, James. You can always start a computer build just on top of the motherboard box. Yeah, so we're going to get this out.
Show what it looks like, huh?
Yeah. And there we go. We have the B450M motherboard. So, right. That's it. That's my job done. Right, so grab one stick. Right, now where on the motherboard do you think that goes? Oh, yeah, you're pretty close. Right, yeah, well that's where it goes, but, right,
It goes.
gold bits go down first, and line up the little notch on, you see the little notch? Yeah?
Yeah.
Line that up with where the notch is on there.
Okay. So now I have a rough idea.
Right, so we've got to flip those two bits down. Right. Hold on, I can't see. There we go. Right, so now push that down gently until that thingy clicks back in. A little bit more. There we go, see? And then same at that end. There we go. Sorted. Right. Next up
is
the M.2 drive. That's your hard drive. Right, you're destroying the box. Look at you.
So what? I always do that with the Lego sets.
That's true. Go on then, grab that out. Right, there should also be a little screw that comes with it. Maybe. Or it might actually be... is there a retention screw already on the motherboard? Okay. Where's that motherboard box? Oh, we're actually using it, aren't we? Ha! Good point. So...
Motherboard does look really cool.
It does look cool, doesn't it? Now, it didn't come with any screws or anything. That's a bit annoying. Ryzen processor. So this is the what of the computer? The
brain.
The brain of the computer, absolutely. So, but this is super sensitive. Got to be careful with this thing. Come on, come sit down. Oh, he's nicking me drink. Stealthy. Next then, James, you see this little metal lever?
Yep.
Right, come here. You're doing this, not me. Right.
Which metal lever?
That little metal lever there. You need to pull it a little bit that way and a little bit up. Right, all the way up now. Right, so that is the socket open, and this is socket AM4, and that is the no, don't. No, we need it open for this to go in. Okay.
Some pieces are really small, or for their price. Am I right, Dad?
Well, yes, literally, there's a reason why it's called a microprocessor.
Look, literally, that's all you get for like
I know.
20 quid.
20 quid? Try 90. Anyway, go on, pick it up. Right, real careful with this. Okay. Right, now notice how the pins are very thin metal. Do not go touching the pins.
And they're made of gold.
Right, now, young man.
It looks like they're made of gold.
It does, doesn't it?
Why would you sell it?
I've got to try and remember which way round this goes.
We'll be rich though if we sell that.
Now, you see how there's a little gold triangle bit there?
Yep.
Now, that is pointing, I think it's to that corner there. No, probably not. I can never remember this.
Yep.
This is always annoying.
Honestly, Dad.
Aha, there we go.
I bet you didn't know, guys, that once Daddy was trying to rust build your computer, broke apart, wasted a couple of $100.
Yeah, back in the old, what, Athlon X264 days? No integrated heat spreader.
Yeah.
I managed to not put the heatsink on properly and it died.
Within 3 seconds of turning it on.
Pop bang fizzle. That was in the days before thermal throttling of CPUs. Right, next up then, young man, is, let's get the cooler out. So now that's in place, pull the lever down. Put it down, put it down, put it down, put it down. Now click it into place. Lovely. Right.
So to look very technical.
Yes, indeed, eh?
Oh, I think I understand you.
Yeah, there's a little screw.
Meant to be just one really small screw.
One really small screw.
Hole,
absolutely.
And you put it. That's why you look like a diving board.
Right, well, don't fiddle with it too much because we don't want it broken, do we? Right. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. I might not have master job. Okay. Well, I didn't know that Cooler Master was going to include some of their own thermal paste, as opposed to just a rubbishy thermal pad thing, which is what I'm normally used to. So that's kind of cool. Right, okay. Another bit of rubbish. Right, where is the little manual for Intel?
You really need instructions for this, Dad.
You've got to know which fittings to use. That's why.
I thought you knew you were a computer.
No, they change every time, James. Right,
so,
let's crack on. Took a little break, I'll admit. Cooler Master, I was about to flame you. Actually, it's more a case of Daddy just needs to RTFM.
Yeah.
Read the friggin' manual.
No, not just that, Dad. Also, one screw.
And well, yeah, hence me needing to RTFM. I was using the wrong screw thingy for the back plate. Got the back plate on now though. So, let's get the cooler on. Right, now James, this bit is a bit delicate. Okay, so I need your tiny little hands. Come here. Right, now what we're going to do is the cooler will go on top of the CPU. Yeah, it'll go on like that, right? But before we do that, yeah, exactly. But before we put it on, no matter how good the metal is on the bottom of your CPU cooler, you will never get 100% perfect contact. So what you need is a little bit of thermal compound or thermal paste. Okay, now Cooler Master very nicely included some Master Gel Pro. Not that you can focus on that, but in actual fact, Daddy bought some Thermal Grizzly, which is meant to be very, very good. I never actually used it before. Used Arctic Silver plenty of times, but never used this before. So,
there's one piece that isn't on the desk.
There is one piece that's not on the desk yet, correct.
It's the big boom box.
The big boom box. I like that. That's a good name for it. Put the boom box in, would you?
You know, right. Like when there's a bomb and they have that thing that sets them off, where they go pump it down,
yeah,
and it goes through a big tube all the way to it. That's what I think this car looks like.
Right. Well, what we're going to do, James, we can have a little practice, right? Look.
Yeah.
Is we're going to put a little bit of this onto the top of the CPU. You need to put like a pea-sized bit like that. Bit like, yeah? Or grain of rice, as they call it, the grain of rice. So,
do you want me to practice first?
Well, you go on, you practice it. Yeah, that's about right.
I'm just going to test if I can try to get it in a bit more of a circle.
That's what you don't need. You don't worry about. Just plonk it in a lump in the middle. But get a bit closer to it. That's probably enough. Right. Now.
It looks like really like grey stuff.
Yeah.
It looks like clay, sort of.
Yeah, it does look a little bit like
Minecraft.
So this is where a lot of people will argue over different ways to do this over the years. Some people say put the grain of rice in, then just put the cooler on, let it spread it out for you. I'm not a big fan of that. I like to spread it out myself manually, nice thin layer, make sure you've got even contact all over the surface. So that's what I'm going to do. But actually, you know, you can watch videos like, I'm pretty sure Linus Tech Tips did one, where they tried all sorts of different ways of applying thermal paste, and actually none of the techniques really make much of a difference. So it's just, you know, it's personal preference. So
can I help?
Yeah, go on in, James. Right, so spread it out nice and thinly across the whole surface. Right, might need a little bit more on there.
So I get a bit more. You feel so weird.
It does, doesn't it?
And it gets stuck to your finger, doesn't it?
It does get stuck to your finger.
So I bring a little bit more. Dad?
Yeah, go on, splodge another bit on. There we go. That's plenty. Right, go on, plonk that back.
I wonder how much we've got left of that.
Quite a bit, I should imagine. Right. I just like to make sure we've got a nice kind of even, thin coverage of it. And we'll plonk a tiny winny little bit.
Dad, where's the small sugar back you got?
Just that.
That is adorable.
That is adorable. It's a micro mini little one, isn't it?
Look guys,
right.
you can see it.
So now what we do is let's peel this off. James, come peel that off. See where the little arrow is? See where the arrow is? Oh, you got it. Come peel it. Right. Okay.
In the middle, it's a bit lumpy.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm expecting that. I want that. Right. Whew. I need that towel again. I'm so hot. Right.
So I bring a towel? Oh, yeah.
Right. Right, okay, so that is the cooler on, we've got the RAM in, we've got the CPU in. That is about as much as we can do without the case. So now it's time for the case.
Let's bring the case up. Let's bring the case up.
Let's bring the case up. Okay, so we took a little break, cooled down a little bit, I changed my t-shirt, and my eyebrows got done. Thanks, Abby!
Which does the makeup? Abby and Mummy are doing the makeup.
Abby's our makeup artist, aren't you, Abby?
Yeah. Yeah,
cool.
whatever.
Right.
With a little cute, whatever that is.
Cool. Right, go on then, skedaddle. Right, James, can you put the cap back on that? Which is there. Right, and then, okay, so Daddy did a little bit of the cabling, so I did all of the motherboard connections for the case, the power switch, the audio, all of that sort of stuff. USB header, ATX connections to the board. So now all we got to do is fit the two cards that we need, which is the Wi-Fi 6 card and the big one, the graphics card. Come on.
Graphics card.
Right.
Graphics
card.
Right.
So I'm mostly finished the build. James has run off now, so it gives me a bit of peace and quiet. But I'm quite happy with that. Pretty clean cabling job there. If we then turn it around, have a look inside the case. It's not the worst cabling job in the world. Okay, we can't fit the two additional Silent Wings, pure Be Quiet Silent Wings fans that we wanted, because actually this motherboard doesn't have enough fan connectors on it. In fact, it's only got one PWM other than the CPU fan, so the front intake fan is just plugged into a standard 3-pin. I'll get some splitters at some point and we'll fit the additional fans, but it's not a massive priority for today. I'll have to tidy that up a little bit in a second as well, but yeah, generally on the whole, fairly clean cabling job. At least I think so. Yeah, it's not bad. I've done worse. Trust me, I've done worse. We basically have finished building it, so now...
Confetti! Made out of
James?
paper that the motherboard came with.
What's it time for?
Turn the power
The moment
on.
of truth.
What's good?
It's blue. It might be good, I don't know. Let's see if it comes up. Oh, mice and keyboard are coming on. Yes! It boots first time! We got post! High five, James. Right. Oh, I think that's enough computer building for today, don't you?
Yeah. In fact, in a couple of months' time, when the Lego Star Wars Complete Saga comes out, we're going to be doing a complete gameplay on that and Minecraft Dungeons. So that's like 30 videos plus the Lego Super Mario videos. We've got like 40 videos planned, so don't worry.
And later on, we'll do a part 2 to this, where we put James's computer in his room, connect up the screen and everything.
Yeah, but that might be a bit too boring. Okay.
What did you just say?
That might be a bit too boring.
We don't do boring videos, James, do we?
Oh.
Except when you're down there not paying attention to the camera.
The second video is boring, so please don't watch. Please, we might as well just delete it then. It was so bad. Wasn't it?
It was not.
It was. Please, I'm just saying, please do not watch the second video. Playing Minecraft with mods, but not really. Please do not watch it. I download mods and I couldn't, and I ended up making it rain scaffolding.
Hey, I liked the fact you made it rain scaffolding.
Everyone
Right.
knows how to do that.
Are we going to go out for lunch or what?
I was thinking of getting Nando's.
Oh, chicken Nando's. Right, say
We
bye.
have to eat in. We have to
Say bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.